All Things Considered, member-supported Hawaii Public Radio, HPR1. I'm Dave Lawrence, and we have a little Friday surprise for you today. Tonight and tomorrow at the Max McCoy Studio Theater, they've got a show they are calling Generations. This one is based around Maui resident and Doobie brother Patrick Simmons Sr. has been our guest previously on the show a few times. He's teaming up with a fellow musician, his son, Patrick Simmons Jr., and the two guitarists, singer-songwriters perform 7:30 shows each night, I understand. And lucky for us, they're going to join us right now. Aloha, Patrick and Patrick.
Aloha, Dave.
Hey, aloha.
Good to have you guys here.
How are you doing, Dave?
Doing good. Thank you for asking, brother. And yourself?
Very good, thank you.
Healthy, happy?
It's been a while since
Yes, it has.
I talked to you.
Timely. Great to have both of you here, and thank you for doing this. I guess we'll call you guys senior and junior so we can keep you separated when we do this, and we'll start with that, I guess.
How depressing, man.
I know, right? Well, maybe I'll have to find another way. I hear you. No one wants to be called a senior. But Dad, how about you tell us what's in store for these remarkable shows? It's a real family kind of thing. I guess it's nice around the holidays, and there's going to be some special guests.
That's right. Let's see. Start at the beginning. Art Vento, manager over there at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, kind of came up with this idea. He wanted to, not that it hasn't been done before, but I think he kind of wants to have a series with fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, that kind of thing, who are performers, musicians. I said, forget it, because I don't have an act. I play with the band, but I haven't been performing much on my own. So I went and I practiced a bunch of songs and got some songs together, and then my son actually does have an act, and so he was kind enough to let me intrude on his space, and we put the show together, which is kind of half and half his songs, half my songs. We do a few covers, but it's mostly original material. We are being joined by some local folks, Hutch Hutchinson, Bonnie Raitt's bass player. Hutch has been living here in Maui for a number of years.
Yeah, long time.
We have Marty Farah on drums, newer transplant here. He's been here about 3 years, I guess. And I reached out and asked our guitar player from the Doobie Brothers, John McPhee, to come over. John plays a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Guitar, pedal steel, fiddle, harmonica. He's going to do it all. We needed a utility guy, and John actually did a bunch of stuff on Pat's CD that he released a couple years ago. And we have some surprise guests, too. Dave Mason, that big surprise, but Dave's going to come by and play a few songs.
That's cool, man. That record that you're talking about from Patrick Jr. is This Mountain.
That's the one.
That's the one. And so, Pat Jr., share some of your earliest musical memories.
Well, along with growing up here locally on Maui, I was also raised on tour with the Doobies and been to, I would say, maybe hundreds of shows by the time I was like 5 years old, and had quite a life touring with these guys. And now that I'm playing my own shows, I have gotten a chance to play with my dad more and more over the years, just he and I. Kind of have him step away from the Doobies a bit and have us do our own thing together.
When you talk about those early memories, not a lot of people get that. I mean, sometimes people are privileged to grow up in a world like that, and I don't know if privilege is the right word, because it's a different kind of life. But when you think back to being a little kid, sleeping on like road crates and stuff like that, what are some of your earliest memories, though, of when you decided to actually embark on playing an instrument yourself?
Yeah, I actually have a clear memory. When I was about 7 years old, my dad taught my older brother and I the 12-bar blues here on Maui. And I remember that really clearly. And after that, I kind of just played around with it and didn't really start to work up songs and write and actually perform until I was about 11, 12 years old. I was in a band with Lucas Nelson. He and I played in a garage band together. That was some of my earliest performing memories, with actually playing my own songs that I had written in front of an audience and taking the time to rehearse and work up parts as a band. We had a little 4-piece band together in Maui with Lucas and Mike and Nelson.
I will jump in here and say one of the great things about living here in Hawaii is how music is such a part of the culture. I know Pat would want me to bring this up because he has said it several times. When he started school here, a public school here in Maui, at a haiku school, he went to haiku school, there was a fabulous music program in terms of local Hawaiian people coming in and sharing the culture and the music with the students. And I'll let you go, Pat.
Yeah. Well, ukulele was one of my first string instruments. when I was like 6 years old in second grade at haiku school, they taught us these Hawaiian standards and traditional songs, and we would perform them at our little May Day festivals and stuff like that.
Makua Bailey.
One of my earliest song learning memories is from this auntie Makua Bailey who would come in, and I was in second grade, and I was this little holly kid, and she would come and teach us Hawaiian songs, Hawaii Aloha, and all these different standards.
I was an old holly kid, and I used to sit there and listen. And that's really one of the big blessings to me of living here in Hawaii, and that sharing of that musical culture is so important.
Your pop obviously did you a solid in a couple ways with that indoctrination, if you will, into both Hawaii and music. Pat Sr., or let's just say Big Pat, we'll say that. That sounds like. By comparison, your background, your pop was a high school educator. So thinking about this father-son thing that you guys have going on, what are some influences either from your pop that have factored into your life, or similarly, your own indoctrination to music?
My father actually did play the guitar, although I didn't find it out till after I had started playing. One day he goes, hey, I know a few chords too, and he showed me he actually knew a little bit of guitar. My music really came from my peers, kids around me who were musicians and their families. We used to have these block parties with people all getting together in the backyard and pulling out their instruments and playing. The guy next door was a kind of an operatic guy, but he knew all these great Italian folk songs, and we learned to play that stuff. And then my friends' parents had a country band. The guy that actually first taught me to play the guitar, I went over to his house, and there was a guitar sitting in his bedroom, and I had never really seen one in person before. I'd seen them on television, but Elvis played the guitar, Ricky Nelson played the guitar, and Chuck Berry. I'd seen those guys' pictures and on television, and I flipped when I saw the guitar. And as soon as I picked it up, that was it. I was 8 years old, and forever I've been a guitar player since then.
Beautiful thing to share with your son, too.
You either feel it or you don't. It's not like something you can really force somebody to understand.
That's right.
You have to have it for themselves, but I was really drawn to it. I think Pat has been drawn to it.
Pat Jr., would you like to go on the mainland, let's say, and do a thing like that with your dad, where you guys did like a duo bit, sort of like a storyteller's broken down acoustic kind of show?
I would love that. Just in the short times that we've rehearsed and put songs together, I think there's more room for us to grow in that way. What about you, Dad? What do you think? Would you be stoked to take this on the road?
Well, I have to think after all the work we've done, we better go out there and do some other shows. I mean, that's probably a given.
At least around the state.
Goes along with the career that you've had. I still remember you from What's Happening, right, with Busting Rerun, and he was bootlegging you.
Which doobie you be?
Going after the bootleggers. Your pop was early in that. It's really something else. But I leave you with this. I heard you, Pat Jr. I think Pat Jr. sounds better than Little Pat.
That's what I've been going by.
Big Pat sounds better than Pat Sr., but Pat Jr. sounds good. So we have this 75-seat intimate performance space. It's called the Atherton Performing Arts Studio. We've had Taj Mahal in there, Stanley Jordan, Average White Band, Rippingtons, all kinds of different, Ladysmith Black Mambazo, anybody, Ziggy Marley, lots and lots of folks have been in there. But anyway, if you thought about coming over to Honolulu, we'd love to have you do a benefit in there for us.
Oh, that's very nice. We'd love to do that for sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll keep it in mind. And again, it's the two Pats. It's Patrick Simmons times two, senior and junior at the Max McCoy Studio Theater. It's tonight and tomorrow, 7:30 shows. And it's been a thrill having them as this little treat, a Friday surprise, if you will, on All
Thanks,
Things
David. Thanks for what you guys do over there, too. I listen every day.
Me too.
Every day here. So it's always on my dial whenever I jump in my car or whenever I'm working on something, I switch you guys on.
Whenever I drive.
Always listening.
Good to have you guys out there. We appreciate it.
Let us know, Dave, about coming over there and playing sometime. We'd love to do that.
I will reach out to you after the holidays get through. I'm rooting for huge success with these two shows, giving you both big hugs. Be safe, okay?
Hey, thanks again, Dave. You take care.
Really appreciate it.
Happy holidays.
You're welcome, brothers.
Mahalo.